Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and the interdimensional seer. Together they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources regarding many influences on our planet today. Our new format allows you to ask questions and hear the answers from the previous show. Post your question in the comment section below the YouTube video. Disclosures, Insider, intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in Disclosures. And we are joined here with Peter the Insider, my co-host, as well as our special guest, Olaf, who is here to share some information that's new information regarding what's been going on and kind of correlating with some of the things that Peter has been discussing regarding what's happening on the planet right now. So everything's very current. And we're probably going to get into some very interesting topics. Pay attention. We have some details. And also, who knows where this is going to go regarding revealing more information on what's happening on the planet today. So without further delay, I'm going to invite Peter the Insider. Say hello.
Hello, Jessica. I want to say hello to you and to our honored guest Olaf, and to all of our regular, maybe not so regular listeners.
Okay, and so welcome, Olaf. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you for bringing me back. I'm glad.
I was reviewing some of your information. You have a lot of interesting information. And so I think that we could probably get right into it. I have some stuff that's pulled up. I'm going to do a shared screen. And here we go. We're going to begin with this information that you said. There's some drawings that you did from a regression that seemed to be quite detailed. And maybe you could share with us. I don't know if maybe we start with this one. Is this the first one that we should start with?
You can actually start with the other one.
Okay, we'll go back to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kruger spacecraft was the title of this. So what would you call this? Is a portal?
It's definitely not a spacecraft. It's some type of old ancient machinery deep down at the Vermont base in Norway. It's a levitating iron ball. It's approximately 5 meter diameter, and it's in the center of like a room, very deep down. I don't know how many levels deep down or how many meters, but it's definitely more or less at the bottom of the base, and it's a deep seafloor base. The iron ball is hovering, and it's spinning very, very fast. And it's connected to four directions. These tubes, they are similar in size. They are perfectly drilled out with some sort of laser technology. They are definitely not made by us. In the regression, the therapist asked me the age of this machinery, and I told her thousands of years old. It's hovering over some sort of platform. In the room, there is a a very, very strong magnetic field, and it leads up through a shaft further up. And as far as I can understand, the whole thing is like creating a portal further up, probably the second floor above. So the energy field from the ball is creating the portal.
Sorry for interrupting you, Olaf. It's I know it is not polite, but I want to say that because you mentioned that it is probably on the very bottom part or so. I mean, in the bottom, some bottom part. No, it is not in some of bottom part. It is on very bottom, and the how can I say it? The fact why this ball ish spherical stuff is placed on the very bottom of the whole Vemork base, it has a solid reason, because without that you cannot use those tubes with and this is it, self-sufficient. And it is like, what in the world, this is nonsense, but it is like that, because at least we cannot produce it on the world, on our, let's say, context of existence, and on Earth we cannot do it. It is some sort of weird balance, self-sufficient balance. So how can I say it, some perpetuum mobile-ish stuff between laser and plasma, right? And it is getting out, and but that's the stuff what is weird, out, but inside. So some sort of like circulation from all of those four tubes, as you described it, and as we can see it on this picture, on this drawing. And it is not approximately 5 meters in diameter, it is exactly, exactly the 5 meters. So the, how can I say it, the dimensions, or so what you was able to get, or to, I don't know, describe during regression, to be perfectly honest, I'm very surprised how accurate they are, in the first place. And in the second place, the tubes, they are perfectly fit on the sides. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, like south, north, east, west, and this is it. Like, what in the world? Because and and just by the way, it is kind of complicated to say how old the technology is, but we are talking about between 10 and 12,000 years ago. 10 and 12,000 years ago. But sorry, I'm just saying that everything you say pretty much it fits the reality. And yes, of course, do you know what it is like? Yes, not 100% correct, because you said magnetic field. It is not magnetic field only, because it can produce magnetic field, electric field, and electromagnetic field. So it can produce multiple type of stuff. I mean, this spherical, this ball-ish, stuff what is spinning very fast, as you said. And in the end of the day, as I like to say, so what is the, okay, and what is the purpose? What is the reason for for manufacturing such a complicated technology? It's very easy. The reason because yes, you are right, it is a portal, but not some random one. It was in order to make step in, that means like tiny little, how can I say it, part of wormhole. That's the stuff, because you cannot have any, how can I say it, higher, in quotes higher, that means like more perfect portal than wormhole. You cannot. This is like that. It's like in quotes non plus ultra. You can't. Yeah. So that's just, I want to verify. I want to say that yes, everything what you said is absolutely perfectly, how can I say it, like right. Just sorry, just I want to say that it's true. And sorry, I almost forget this about this platform you talked about, that you know it is very important stuff that there are no axis or something like that, because as you said, it is hovering, this ball-ish stuff, spherical stuff is hovering, because it is rotating that fast that there is no need for something solid to hold it on in the sphere stuff, in the space. But sorry, I don't want to interrupt you or your, I don't know, like ideas or stuff, but I just want to say that everything you said is absolutely right. Sorry, I will I will be silent.
No, that's very fine. It's very much appreciated, Peter, to fill me in. Absolutely. Another interesting thing, in the same room, I was able to enter an old control room, probably set up from the late 40s or 50s. I saw a couple of guys there with white coats. The control room and the screen, they were like it was from the 50s somehow. It was not very high technology in that room, that's for sure. But somehow they were able to measure the field, and they were sitting there to make sure that everything was like steady. They had a few suits there as well, like these rubber suits, especially suits for when it's radiation. Um, I myself, I just used like a standard jumpsuit we normally use on Mars with some nanotechnology. I had a mask, but just not fully covered. But because to breathe there was quite, I'm not saying impossible, but I was in need of some oxygen. Um, and during the regression, I felt it through my whole body, the pressure, the energies from the ball was incredible. So when they are going out from the control room, they need to use the special suits, and they were sitting behind some special glass, several layers. They were very protected. What I don't remember was how I was able to get into the room, but doesn't matter. But I was able to see the portal, and I saw two. If you can show us the next drawing, Jessica. Yeah. Um, actually, the portal looks very transparent. It's formed more or less like a dome, like a bluish color. And I saw two extraterrestrials on standing inside the portal. They were standing on a platform and they suddenly went down, going through some sort of lift, going down. Anyway, so I guess this portal can be used for transportation, similar to jump rooms or whatever. So the therapist asked me, this base must be very important. And I told her, yes, it's of great importance. We do whatever it takes to protect it. We recently had an incident. Last time we supposed to talk, I saw myself in a big fight, in a big conflict. We had some intruders, some coming to. They were trying to get into the base from below. They came with some of the shuttles, a lot of assets, and other agents were killed. But for sure, something is going on. But I have a gut feeling that Kruger Corporation is doing their best to protect the base, and especially to protect that portal.
Do you know any idea who that was attacking the base?
I remember we talked about something, and when I slept at night, I saw some. It was like a connection from somewhere from Canada. They were coming through the tunnel systems, not these 4 tunnels. These are different, but the shuttle system. It's this base as well is connected to other bases.
Sorry for interrupting you, Olaf. You mean like some sort of hyperloop-ish stuff? Hyperloop? I think that you are referring to that. You know, some sort of like there is vacuum and you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is it. I know who you was encountered with. You are clearly referring to FAC. That means Federal Army of Commonwealth or Federal Army of Canada. But the correct how can I say it, explanation for abbreviation, it's like Canada, not Canada, my bad, Commonwealth. And that's the problem, because those entities, they are very evil one. They are very, very upset because they know they are losing. They are losing this war, and they really desperately want to get to this portal, because it is how we can call it, it is key. It is like, it is not just a battle, it is like a front, it's like a normal, it's like, I don't know, First or Second World War. And okay, it is not just in quotes random battle. It's like, but once you or me or we or they, will lose this battle, it's done. Or they or us, they will lose the war, and that's the stuff. But I don't want to talk about that till yet, because the stuff is that okay, no, I don't want to talk about that because I've got a lot of stuff to get through.
We could talk about we could talk about it briefly, Peter, because we were supposed to do a show over a week ago, and then my whole electrical got cut out. There was a tree that was downed, and there was something that attacked an area by my house and hit the power lines or hit a tree that was very healthy and knocked it over, and it took out the whole road. And and that was the day we were supposed to do the show.
Yeah.
So I know they didn't want us to do the show, and I knew it had something to do with that, but
Yeah.
I
think we provoked them somehow.
Yeah,
well,
you know.
but we wanted to
That's
put the
true.
information out, and they don't want the information out about what we're talking.
It's pretty much easy, you know. It's like we pissed them off.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that.
And especially if they're having problems or they're not succeeding, then they're going to be even more angry. So
Yep.
and
Anyway, we were able to seal the entrances that day.
That's
But they are.
That's pretty much the stuff what mattered the most. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they will try to come back again. I was able to put some sort of spy device on the shuttle. So we are, let's say, listening into them and watch them. So that's what I felt after my recall about that mission. So it's like I'm part of some sort of being on a high alert. So it's hard to explain, but it's like I'm just in the middle of something here.
you know, I
Going
had
on. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I had a really a vision as you were talking. I felt like there was a bunch of these super soldiers looking at me. They're all lined up, and they all look like they're really big guys, like that Dolph Lundgren. You know, they're all kind of standing there, lined up together, and they were watching us as we started talking about this. Like big Norwegian, Swedish, I don't know, looking guys, blonde.
Yeah.
Who would that be, Peter? They weren't bad.
Try to guess who. The Nordics.
No, I didn't feel that they were Nordics. You think they were Nordics?
It is not like I think. I know that they were.
So they're bad because they look like they were okay with us talking.
They are. Let's say they are good actors. You know,
Okay.
They can pretend very well.
Yeah, well, they look like super soldiers. They looked like they were lined up together. There's probably about 5 of them. And they were kind of hooked in together, and they had straps over them like they were going to be on a ship. And one of them nodded to me. Yeah, it was really weird. All right, so
I think the base is very valuable for them still, because we have to remember that in early days, as far as I know, the Nazi Germans, they were controlling Wehrmacht base, and they had contact with the Nordics. They don't have the control anymore. So
no, since you did that regression, it sounds like you were able to go and do the things that you needed to do. Would you like to go to the next picture?
Yeah. Yes, I was just like floating over the whole thing, so to get another perspective, you can clearly see these directions. And Peter is right. North is actually 100% north. It's accurate. These directions are.
What was absolutely crazy, once even we, in ACIO, once we get it, like, what in the world? This is like, this level of, how can I say it, preciseness, and the stuff, how detailed it was made. It was like, what? You know, it was like, for example, those old stuff, I don't know, like electronics or cars, or I don't know, furniture or clothings, you know, maybe it's like, it's nothing complicated, but it was it. Once it was designed, in the first place and manufactured in the second place, it was made with, how can I say it, emphasis on detail, emphasis of precision, and of course, long lasting, almost like everlasting. And I was like, what? This is so precisely set it up. And this, sorry, it is not iron ball.
Okay.
It is some sort of very weird metals. We don't know which kind of metals even. Once again, this ball definitely not comes to I mean, sorry, from our world, from our context of existence. But the fact is, we in ACIO we call it like it's iron, because it is. I mean, technically, we cannot force it to stop. We and we've got plenty of tech, you know. I mean, in ACIO, and we cannot stop produce this ball, and with, of course, with cooperation with this platform to create those kind of fields. I was like, what? How? And I was like, okay, we should unplug this somehow. No, we simply cannot. And just by the way, sorry for giving for getting that. The fact is, it's, yes, the control room. It looks like from, let's say, mid 50s or first half of 50s. Yeah, so technically it's it's like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know more about that? Who built the control room? Because it's nothing more less than they can control. They cannot interfere, as you say. It's just
they
like
don't
a control.
need they don't need anything complicated.
Yeah.
The principle is simple. The ball is, I mean, like, and that's the problem. Yeah, because it's so simple, in quotes, simple, that we cannot get it. But at least for them, they build it. It's like, okay, how did we missing? Are we missing something? Of course, obviously we are, but the stuff is we don't know. You know what I'm talking about, and that's the problem. But anyway.
Do you have any idea where that technology came from? From which extraterrestrials, or you have any
Okay.
thoughts about that?
Absolutely, no clue, because technically there are so many, in quotes, suspects. There can be, nah, absolutely, nope, no. And just by the way, he was, maybe, I don't want to say shocked, but he was like, what am I doing here? You know, from your point of view. But from their point of view, it was absolutely opposite. So technically, they consider you as a part of their team. Like, not a big deal that you are here. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, what? Where the hell I am? Do you know what I mean? Like, where the hell am I? And that was like, nah. It's like,
I was not prepared for this at all. Because when I do these regressions, sometimes some other films or pictures or like frames from memories are popping up, but I didn't have any control, so that was it. I was there in the base, and I didn't like decided to tune into this, so it was it came up naturally. So then I understand that we are in the middle of something. This is very important. This has something to do with the maybe the emerging timelines and the time frame we are getting into.
Not only timelines, realities
Yeah,
or contexts
realities.
of existence, if you want to call it that way.
Exactly.
Then
Yep. You're right.
let's call it that way. That will be more precise, more accurate.
Hey, Peter, I just
Sure.
thought about something. You know, when we first connected this morning or this afternoon, and I contacted you, and you heard someone say hello. That wasn't my voice, and I'm thinking that was the Nordics.
It was like, hello.
Lower voice.
No, it was like, hello, I'm here. And I was like, what? You know, it was like, that was crazy.
Because I didn't say hello, I'm here. I didn't say that at all. I just said I figured something out. That was the first thing I said. And someone else said, hello, I'm here. And you said, wait a minute, there's something wrong with some kind of paranormal or something, because that didn't sound like your voice.
Yeah, because it was like how can I say it? It was said, I don't want to say it was said, but I was able to hear it before actually the call started. And I was like, okay, what the heck is that about? You know, it's...
There was 5 of them standing there looking at us, so I'm glad we figured out who that was. I didn't know that I had Nordics imitating me.
This is not okay.
No, it's not okay at all. No.
Not okay. No.
So, do you want to talk about the other pictures that you had next, Olaf?
Yeah, I had a strong recall in 2016. It's more or less connected to what we are talking about right now.
Okay, let me find that.
New realities, timelines, emerging.
Okay, so we're going back to our picture, and let me locate those other pictures, but I did want to share something really quick.
Yep.
And I'll open that up. Something that reminded me of what we were just talking about, and the image that you drew of what you saw in the regression, and it is this right here. And this is in New York City, but the way that you drew the sphere, I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
What
do you think, Peter?
Try to guess what? No, I'm just asking. Try to guess what? Of course, it is that. It is. How can I say it? The perfect picture. I don't want to say what Olaf drew. Sorry. I want to say that. How can I say it? This what they built here in New York. That means they make it as a perfect. How can I say it?
Sphere.
As a perfect. No, not sphere. As a perfect mirror. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like perfect mirror of the ball that is creating this multi-energetic type fields in the technically down the Weimar base, or in the very bottom of the Weimar base. Yeah,
so this
like that.
It's called the Unisphere, is a spherical stainless steel representation of the Earth in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park.
Yep.
In New York City borough of Queens. The sphere, which measures 140 feet or 43 meters high and 120 feet and 37 meters in diameter, was designed by Gilmore Clark as part of a plan for the 1964 New York World's Fair, which is the year where I was born. The Unisphere is located atop a 20-foot tall base. It's a base, just like you said, with over 500 steel pieces representing the continents, as well as 3 steel rings representing the first artificial satellites, and these going around. It looks like the commission to celebrate the beginning of the space age. The Unisphere was conceived and constructed as the theme symbol of 1964-1965 New York World's Fair. The theme of the World's Fair was peace through understanding. The Unisphere representing the theme of global interdependence, being dedicated to man's achievement on a shrinking globe in an expanding universe. The Unisphere was restored after a conclusion of the World's Fair, but fell into disrepair in the 70s and was restored again in the 90s, and was a landmark. But I believe it's set up in a park, but the whole thing is Corona Park, which I thought is really weird. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff that you drew.
Once again, because it was built like a perfect mirror stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like mirror stuff.
Do you think that they have an awareness when they're creating this stuff that they're?
Of course they are, or they have, or had, or whatever. I don't know how can I call it. But do you know what I mean? It's like that.
Was it the Nordics that did this as well, trying to imitate?
No, but let's say Council of Five got some ideas.
Okay. All right, so we'll return back to the conversation at hand, and let's see. I'm going to remove the screen, and then I'm going to find the other pictures that we were talking about. Unless we want to go into, we also have Telmark and IG Farben. If you want to get into.
No, I think I talked about that last time.
Okay.
Factory, those who.
All right, so let me go ahead and grab that other picture.
I woke up after a very strong recall with a burn mark in my neck. Not this one, but yeah, that one. Right side down there.
Down in here?
Yeah, down there, yeah. It's a triangle, upside down triangle, and it was burning like hell. And I had a strong, vivid dream. I saw three symbols. One of these symbols were the upside down triangle. As far as I can understand what the dream was about. It was about the future timeline. As I said, I had this strong recall in 2016, and I saw these three different triangles, like emblems or symbols, and the one described the Illuminati, and the other one described the fourth or the fifth Reich. They made some sort of agreement with the Galactic Federation in 2023. That's the numbers I got. Their plan is to enter this timeline.
That's
So
the
they're
Ashtar command, right? The Ashtar command is the Galactic Federation.
It was they use a symbol with an upside down triangle and a circle in the middle.
Okay.
So
These soldiers I was able to see, they were connected to that symbol. They were all dressed in black super soldier uniforms. Strange helmets, looks more or less like from the Star Wars sort of helmets. I was standing there in front of a tier 3 So I was more or less involved somehow, but I figured out that this was something to happen, something coming up in 2023, or definitely before 2030. So they were coming through some sort of portal, or it was like they were suddenly just here, all these soldiers, and I don't know why I was there, but uh, probably because I'm connected to or involved with Kruger Corporation. Uh, as you know, my memories are always fragmented. I only see puzzles, pictures. I don't have the context sometimes, but I remember this dream because I was burned, and the burn mark, the triangle, stand on my neck for several days, and it burned like my God, I can't describe it. It was very painful. Maybe the picture is not so very good, but I was able to see the triangle for several days. So it was a good reminder what I saw. Interesting enough, in 2019, James Casbolt, or Michael Prince, from his prison cell, he sent a drawing of the same symbol I'm trying to describe here. He sent it to Miles Johnson. So that freaked me out. Exactly the same symbol. And he also talked about this several times. But how in the world he could access, or he could remember, or he could see the same symbol I saw in 2016. It's a triangle with a circle inside. As far as I can understand, it was like a agreement between the Germans and the Galactic Federation. I need help here. If Peter can fill me in.
Peter, give us some insight what you think this was.
Yeah.
You mean this triangle stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, as you said, mark, a symbol. Okay, you made agreement. Period. It's done. Do you know what I mean? Like a sort of solid
Like a seal.
evidence.
Yeah.
So yes, like some sort of seal, like solid evidence. Nah, this is it, pretty much. Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Sounds like a branding. You know, when you brand cattle, so they
Yeah.
put sort of like a
I
tattoo.
don't want to say. I don't want to say like that, but you know, okay. I don't want to
burn
say
mark.
okay, but you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
well-
a burn mark. It
Yeah.
stayed there for several days, and as you can see in the picture, I was brown because of the sun and everything, but the mark was like pinkish in color, stayed for a week or so. So
Well, so
Yeah.
that what does that mean then, Peter? Who is he? Who is he made an agreement with, and who is he working for? Would he be working for them, or is he indebted to them, or what does that mean?
No. I mean, technically, yes, Olaf made agreement, but with Kruger, so that's good. Technically,
So this is a Kruger symbol.
of course, they've got their symbols. It is like Cade or Fate Corners. They've got such a symbols, you know.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those triangles on them.
Yeah, so this is it. It's nothing complicated.
So are you saying that James Casbolt or Michael Prince, whichever name he goes by, he also was working for Kruger?
I don't want to comment that because it's with him. It's more complicated, much more complicated. It wasn't with him like it seems to be. Yeah. Like that.
if someone can get a hold on Miles Johnson, he can probably send you, Jessica, the drawing he made, and I will send you the one I did again. So just to double check. So it's,
Okay, well, we can see if we can find that image, and or even the listeners. Some people might have that from Miles.
but I think we are very close for these realities or new reality or timelines merging to happen. It's when it comes to timelines and predictions, it's very, very nearly impossible. I'm not saying I'm right, because I'm only saying this is a probability. Because timelines, they can change. It depends who will who will interfere or who will put this on a hold, perhaps. Who is again controlling the matrix, etc., etc. So it's very complicated.
It is, believe me, it is. It's like, what in the world? Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you are. No,
I could be wrong about the year.
No, you are right. You are right, man. You are right. You are goddamn right. Yep. It's true, man.
I don't know what that looks like. You said that looks like it's licorice or something, but
yeah,
it looks like
that's
something.
the black crystals we were talking about.
As
Oh, that's
well.
right.
Yep, definitely.
They really looked like a licorice. That's a triangle again. It was marked after.
And where was that? Where did you see that? Where in your body?
I got it on my chest. Yeah.
Your chest.
And that's also another triangle that from Kruger.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is, but it's kind of weird because it's old stuff. But at least from my point of view, I mean, because I was like, why the hell they will do something like that? But for example, Caden Faith have that, and I don't want to say all, but certain group of super soldiers have like that. Sorry, Kruger runners and super soldiers have like that, and have something like that. And I was like, what? And that was pretty much it. Yeah, because uh, because only with this you can get access to the safe access, if you want to call it that way, to the to the core of the base. That's pretty much it, what I want to say.
I have something like that in like I want to say freckles. Like it's in a triangle shape on my leg.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's very similar. I don't know if I can.
These marks are more like looks like needle marks. They disappear for a few days.
Yeah, mine's permanent. It's been there for years.
But I have some pretty perfectly white, round spots placed differently on my. There's a leg there. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I remember I asked Peter about that once. I can't get rid of them. They are perfectly round.
I have those too. I
Yeah.
have those too. You can see it when you get a tan, and it's like a pigmentation thing.
Yeah.
Little
Looks
dots.
like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they are placed on certain. And it's not a coincidence where they are placed. That's my take on it. So they are.
What about these dots, Peter?
They were marks, or they are marks, sorry for that. Once someone was trying to get the certain piece of data from you. So
Oh,
trying
jeez.
to retrieve the stuff, it's like
Yeah, I remember
it's
one
crazy.
summer I had a whole bunch of them, and I'm like, well, where did these things come from? Because it makes it look like you have something going on, like a health issue or something.
Yeah, you are right.
But
They
I
just
mean,
appeared from nothing. So they stayed ever since. The same places.
but it's like they pull maybe the melanin out, and they've done a lot of that kind of stuff with me, like especially my hands. And so that's how they're pulling data. Then it's in what is it? Kind of like pulling DNA.
No, 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 no. I am talking data, about data, not DNA. Data from your brain, okay? And hijacking both stuff. Hijacking to your, let's say, knowledge, wisdom, but to your consciousness, okay? It's different. Okay? This is it what I'm talking about.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's bad.
But yeah, so I've had quite a few of them. It looks like you did too, Olaf.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They stay the same size, no change.
What group does this, Peter?
Try to guess who.
There's a lot of bad ones.
Of course. Show house they are doing that.
Oh.
It's bad, man.
Well, the Shaw House has been around for a while then, because I had these before I met you, Peter.
I know. It's bad, I know.
When did you notice them on your leg, Olaf? How long ago? When did you first notice it?
It must be around 2010, 2012, roughly. I had them before I met with
Yep.
Peter.
That's about
Yeah.
the same time I had it.
So
That's weird.
that was one of my questions. I remember that from our first talks in 2016. I was asking about a lot of things, personal stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a Kruger emblem or symbol. Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah. This one. This is the one I saw in one of my regressions again. It was on the crafts on Mars. That's why I sent also these pictures from Lockheed Martin.
Yeah. And try to guess what it is. This is, yeah, it's true. It's not TR3 series. It's actually, believe me or not, it's TR4. Haha! This is it. No, I mean it for real. It's crazy.
Okay.
But it's a triangle, a craft triangle. East
Yeah,
German
but it's
flying triangle.
TR4 series. Yeah. Just how can I say it? Just look for the another design, because there is like another picture we can see the whole stuff. Yep, this is it.
The diamond.
Hopeless diamond, yeah.
Hopeless diamond. Why do they call it the hopeless diamond?
Yeah, it's very easy, because no one can catch it. No one can catch it once it is flying. It is that goddamn fast and can make crazy maneuvers. It's absolutely crazy. Man.
The gray ones reminds me a lot about the craft I remember from, again, some of my regressions from Mars. They had the symbol I showed you. Look, the symbol looks like the car manufacturer Opal.
Yeah. It's
Similar.
yeah. That means technically, it's like what? Like lightning. Yeah.
Light bolt.
You are
Yeah.
you are right. Yeah. That's true.
I mentioned it for another Kruger asset as well, and he confirmed it. And he was, wow, that's exactly the symbol. How in the world were you able to get into that? And I just told him that it was from one of my regressions. I saw it very clearly on the side of the craft. And the craft was gray, like this one.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. And so it was standing there in a heavy sandstorm. We were actually dealing with the huge black spiders. They tried to attack us. So I remember shooting as best as I could before we were getting up to the cockpit. So it was a crazy day. But with these energy weapons, they didn't have a chance. I mean, the spiders. But anyway, my story
Yeah,
here is
because
just
it
that,
was
about the
it was
craft and the
yeah
symbol.
because
Yeah.
yeah because just by the way, right? Do you know what it was about? It was about direction or directed uh, energetic shock wave. Just by the way, it was about that. I mean,
Okay.
this what it is? This
Technology.
technology, weaponry-ish stuff or warfare. Yeah. You are you are
And
right.
that day we were quite heavily armed. I remember exactly the armor we were wearing. So that day we also used helmets for protection. But we were able to enter one of these crafts, and I was also escorting. I thought I was escorting one of the pilots, but when I think about it, I was just joining him as well. So I didn't, in the first place, I didn't know that I was piloting many of these crafts until later on. With me, it takes a long time to remember. So we did use other crafts for like a cargo ship thing for exchanging goods with the so-called galactic city. But then we were using a completely, of course, a different, a huge craft, a cargo ship. I have a lot of memories from different missions, but they are basically all from regressions. I have pages of pages from these regressions.
Their
Do you know
griffins help
anything?
because
Did
it's
you,
recall.
if I can ask Peter if you know anything about these extraterrestrials we were dealing with?
You mean
Galactic,
those
Galactic City.
but give me a second. You mean those giant spiders or what?
No. I'm talking about. I'm referring to another mission I was involved with a cargo ship. We were taking off from Mars and we were going through the so-called Galactic City somewhere in our I don't know if it's in our solar system or if it's outside. I don't know, but that day we were not able to go through the portal and go. Yeah, so we were not
I
allowed
know
to go
what you
through the
are
portal.
talking about. I don't know what I
We
know
have
exactly.
we have to activate the sleeping chambers in that cargo ship. So
Yeah, I know. I got you.
yeah, we have to go the long way around. If you understand, it was
No. I completely got you. The stuff is, or I don't know, was we get actually to 12th array density or 12th dimension, and that was the problem. Initial problem. Because you can do certain transitions via wormhole, but you cannot do just everything, and that's the problem. You can do certain stuff, but you cannot do anything pretty much. And that was way over, how can I say it, way too over, how can I say it, the possibilities of the wormhole.
Okay. Yeah.
It was crazy, believe me, it was.
anyway. We did okay. We came out from the chambers a bit earlier because they were activated too early, but we were able to dock with another like a space station or a spacecraft. And the thing is that when I was dealing with the commander there and he was extraterrestrial, I was not able to see his face at all. He was blurred out, and but he was tall and he was dressed in black. That's all I remember. I don't know anything about the goods we were bringing over there, but somehow they were interested in what we had of different items, or maybe it could be technology or weaponry. I don't know, but I was involved in some of these transports and the cargo ships, and one other whistleblower as well. I cannot mention her name, but she remember me from
That's
One of
that's good.
these.
That's good that you don't want
yeah.
to
I don't want to know.
mention. Yeah. That's good decision.
Yep. She remember me however from one of these missions. That's how we were able to connect later on. So as you all know, many of us are grouping together because we start to remember, and we recognize each other in real time. So this is this is yeah, this is very crazy. But we are literally meeting up with each other.
So,
Yeah, I mean, people are doing that all over,
yeah.
especially if you are online and then people recognize you.
Yeah.
And then they can bring up information or say that they've seen you. Although I do think, like, I've had people mention things, and it's sort of like an overlay, like a bunch of people see the same thing. I don't know if it's from a my lab or something like that where everyone sees the same thing. So there's a difference between the memory, or it's part of a my lab simulation of something too. That happens as well. So I kind of usually have to talk to people a little bit. They have memories or recalls of being somewhere, and then I'll talk to them, and some of it is they kind of have some kind of overlay or something that they watched or something came in, and then they have a recall. So and when you work through that, then you could see kind of more of the details of what the person knows or has seen. And that's why I ask people to talk to me so we can kind of work through that. And then, of course, then if they were there and they know certain details, and then that's something you just can't refute. That's it.
Yeah.
But I don't, like I usually try to make sure. But anyhow, I did find the logo that you're referring to, and that matches this, and
Yeah,
that's in
that's
the
the one.
Opal, and we can kind of I think it was Opal
Looks
vehicle.
like yeah, it's similar to Opal car manufacturer. Yeah,
It is.
it's very similar. So that's Opal, as we know, it's a German. It was originally a German company. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah, absolutely.
Strange. It's very strange.
So is this so you can see it right there in the front, and almost could look like there's wings there too, the way it comes out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I've actually seen that with the wings and a circle in the center, but not necessarily with this. Do they have it also with this in the wings? The circle there? Or do they always have the lightning bolt?
Who do you mean? Like they, or I don't know who are
So
you talking?
this is a Kruger? Is this a Kruger symbol or is this a Nazi symbol?
Which one you are referring
This
to?
one right here.
No. It's Nazi stuff.
Okay.
NAZI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
But technically, like it or not, the fact that we are talking about NAZI, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad. You know it.
I know, but that it's an elite secret space program.
I know, that's true.
There's
Yeah.
a German a breakaway civilization.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. They are coming back. I mean, they are here. I mean, but in our parallel reality. But what I saw in 2016 was more or less about that they are coming through somehow, and they are not connected to these ideology or political systems as the Nazi German. Not at all. So these Germans are different, very different. So.
Right.
They use but the symbol I saw was exactly the way I posted it.
Right
a
here.
bit different, yeah. With the
It's
yellow
multiple.
bolt.
So they have it minimized, so it's only like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And there's multiple.
Yeah, you are right. You are absolutely right. Multiple way how to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just compare that. See, there's just one.
It's a difference.
Then we have a back here. We can see the difference, but it's close enough. And I agree. They're a whole different group. They've gone past the paradigm of the Earth and the way that things are being done, and the competitiveness, and because they've already excelled, and so that some of this stuff is not important to them.
So,
somehow, Kruger Corporation, they will play a very important role in this. So.
Yeah, I mean, recently there was an article out there saying that the Germans were involved in this voting scandal that happened in the U.S. and it wasn't Dominion, it was like Skiller or something like that, and I guess it goes through Spain but also goes through then Germany, and so for those conspiracy theorists that could say that the Nazis were behind that, and I mean this is not the type of stuff that they do.
Nope, definitely not. Believe me. Nope.
Yeah. Just to clarify, Peter, can you say who that was involved in that? Or is it just a government?
Government-ish stuff, all kind of, But technically they were Nazis, but definitely not good ones, if you want to call it that way.
Like the Third Reich group, some of those from the Third Reich?
No. Fifth and fourth and fifth. You know.
The Nordics. So you get back to
Yeah.
your Nordics again,
Exactly.
right? Which hacked my phone call.
Yeah, they love to do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you've had that before. We hear someone getting into the phone call, and then you question me.
Yeah,
And
that was like, what in the world is that? No, it was crazy. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole different voice, and so he wants to make sure that he's calling me, not somebody else. Which I don't blame. I don't blame you, Peter. I want you to be cautious because I feel the same way. I don't know who I'm talking to sometimes.
Yeah.
Or I don't trust it. Yeah. All right. So there was. I had this. I was talking to you, Olaf, and I brought up that I was hearing. Let's see if I say it. Okay. I heard about a paramilitary group, and I didn't know what it was, and I asked you, and no, I looked it up, and when I looked it up, I saw Hirden, and I had never heard about them before, but I think they wanted to bring this into the conversation.
On purpose.
Yeah,
Yep.
this was, I wasn't even talking, I know what it is. I wasn't talking to Olaf. I happened to hear paramilitary and I just did a search just to see who, when they were communicating with me, what they wanted me to look at. And then it brought up Hirden and I saw that it was connected to Norway. So then I sent this link over and we can look that up really quick and maybe you can. So here's the, you said something like you knew you had an art teacher or somebody that was, had joined this group. And
Yeah.
so,
That's right. He joined them. I didn't know about that at all. I was just a child. I met him when I was 10 years old. And he was like a mentor for me. But he was part of Hirden, and as a nationalist party, a fascist party, they were supporting Nazi German. So they were very ready to welcome the Nazis here, also here in Norway.
So you see here it says paramilitary, and Vitkin, maybe you can say that word properly, is a fascist party. Frequently used words and symbols from the Old Norse Viking era. During the Second World War, memberships were compulsory for all National Semling members. In total, about 8,500 Norwegians were members of Hirden during the war. The organization was dissolved after the liberation, and many of its former members were prosecuted and convicted for treason and collaboration. But I was wondering, why would they bring this up to me, and what is it that we needed to talk about? It seems like the Hirden got a more military slant. The intention was that it should form the nucleus of the future Norwegian Nazi army. The Hirden Marine or Hirden Navy, and let's see, they were created. This is the Hirden's Air Force Corps, in addition to the real Hirden, Riksherden. However, many Hirden members volunteered to Norwegian military units in the War of Nazi Germany side or served in the guards in various prison camps and so forth. But I mean, there's a lot of interesting history.
They were recruited. Some of them they became like the guy I talked about. They were recruited as SS officers. I think again it's a connection here to the Vermont base in the beginning. before the Second World War, because I think they absolutely controlled that base, and
Like a
was,
black uniform, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
part of a
you
super
mentioned black
plan
uniforms.
they thought they might just take over, and you know,
Like a self-preservation. They thought that it might be going in that direction, and something to that effect. Or Peter, why don't you share with us your information regarding it?
Regarding you, mean what exactly?
Yes.
What exactly you want to talk about, technically?
I don't know. Why do you think that this came up? Why do you think I heard about this group? What were they?
Maybe we can see all the rankings, and this is, you can go scroll down, just by the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Down, 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 down. Yeah, we can see the rankings. No, the picture. Rank insignia. Sorry for that. So that's pretty much it. You know, because they know, whoever this to you, they know that we will have this conversation today. They know it. So they hijacked your mind. And that's pretty much the same one who, I mean, I heard the voice. It's like, hello, what's the matter? And I was like, what? You didn't even hit the call button. I mean, because I called you.
I didn't pick up. I didn't pick up
Yeah.
yet. You heard that. Yeah.
And I was like, what in the world is that? I mean, are you serious? No, I don't like that. I don't like this at all.
Well, I'm kind of like a radio signal. I pick up all sorts of things, and I have to figure out who I'm talking to, and then so I can then at least look at them and see. Sometimes they hide in disguise, but I have to work through that too. But yeah, so pretty much
But
that
it
they
was
wanted.
very negative voice, like, hello, almost like that. Like, what in the world, man?
So that they wanted to get attention today. They wanted us to talk about them
Definitely, you are right.
because they are egoists. They're definitely they do need a lot of attention, and they
Yeah,
like to promote a lot.
It's crazy. It's like, what in the world? Yeah.
What do these rankings mean, Peter? Just like general, admiral.
Yeah, like that,
Yeah.
that. But try to guess why they are 7, 3, or 5, or something like that. It's symbology. It's symbology.
Explain it.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Like symbology for, and especially how it looks like. It looks like, how can I say it? Like the way, the shapes in which are those numbers written. That means, like, they are sharp. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, sharp. Because 3, it doesn't necessarily mean to be or should look like that 3 or 7 or 5. And that means that we need to be ready for something what will be very straight and cruel. Nah, that's it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, cruel. How can I say, like, straight, cruel? Like,
strict.
if you
very
like
strict.
it, restrictive. Yeah, if you like it, fine. If you don't like it, bam, period, end of story. You are done. You are a goner. You know what I mean? Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it.
Wow.
you see the number 7 there?
Yeah.
It looks like a triangle.
Like a V shape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's these over here as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everything is symbology, you know. It's symbolic.
Yeah, it's very like black and white, very cut and dry, they
Yeah,
say, or there's
you are
just
right.
very, very severe. Yeah. And
Well,
that's the
Absolutely.
way they are.
You are right.
Anyway, my mentor, he was prisoned because of his involvement with his Hirden group and his involvement with the Nazis. So I think he spent 3 years in prison, and from that he went to France for the Foreign-Year Legion. He became a professional soldier. He came back to Norway in 1961. And, I think I think they bring him into my life somehow for a purpose. It's not a coincidence that he was mentoring me as a child. You see the connection here?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I want to refer specifically to those ranking pictures because you know it's how can I say it, like specific symbology in that, you know.
Yeah.
If you can see, and Olaf, you are absolutely right about those like tiny-ish triangles, all kind of that stuff. Yeah.
Even on the ends are very, very sharp.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, you know, no, you need to be, how can I say it? You need to be super careful about your actions, what you are thinking, what you are talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like it's like, you know, it's crazy. Yeah. It's not okay.
So what is the connection with the French Foreign Legion? Because I've had visions of that as well, and I think they actually pulled me into that. I've met people personally that were from the French Foreign Legion. So what is their connection in all of this? Peter?
It's very easy because they are very well trained soldiers. Exactly like, you know, it's like those soldiers were during Second World War. Just by the way.
I had someone that I knew around 1996 who was from the French Foreign Legion, and he had incredible psychic ability.
Mm-hmm.
We were a distance away. I could hear him and I could see him visually in my mind, like as if I had a camera in my head. I don't know what kind of training that they have there, but that was one of the few people that I met that was that gifted. He also had a complete photographic memory. He could look at a page and memorize it all.
No, I know what you are talking about. They are, because it is like that, because they are you know, choosing only those kind of people, gifted in some sort of ways. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Peter, can I ask you a question?
Go
This is
ahead.
personal. Why do you think they introduced me to that guy? I was only 10 years old, and
Because you was
for a
gifted.
reason.
This is it. Because you was gifted, man. You was gifted, and that was it. Period. End of story.
Okay.
It seems
It's like it technically, how can I say it? Like you know, it influenced all of your life. It's like you know, it's normal. You know, like it's not. I don't want to say it is not a big deal. It is, of course, it is a big deal. But do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, geez, man. This is it. Do you know
because
what I'm talking
I remember that he taught me how to visualize, how
Mm-hmm.
to see things in front of me.
That's weird. This is weird, Olaf, because it sounds like we have a few similar things, like the triangle thing, the dots on the legs, meeting someone from the French Foreign Legion. I mean, I don't know. Is this a process, or is this unusual that both of us have this similar experiences? Peter.
You know, that's the reason why we are sitting here, all three of us, when talking. Because it was destined to be like, how can I say it? Like, you know, all of us, it looks in quotes like a coincidence, all kind of tests that, no, believe me, it's nonsense, it's bullshit, and I will not watch my language. Um, universe doesn't believe in coincidences, so it was like that. It seems like, nah, people from in quotes, random people from whole different parts of the world, and they somehow ended up in one interview, one conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what in the world?
Yeah, because I've never met anyone that had, some of those weird things, and I've talked to a lot of people, but I do find that this is very interesting. So it's kind of the same groups then, the same groups also Shaw House and Kruger, and then the French Foreign Legion somehow is connected, and whatever this well, of course the Nordics have probably pulled a lot of people together in a weird way.
Yeah,
for
they
their
are.
own agendas, and I know that they've put us in my labs.
Yeah, they are. Believe me, it's kind of, what in the world is that?
I believe that the French Legion is definitely connected to
Yeah, they are.
programs. The programs as probably the secret space programs and other programs. They are elite soldiers, and of course,
Yes.
among them you have super soldiers as well, and agents,
you are
assets. So it was not a coincidence that he taught me how to visualize and how to understand certain things as a child, and somehow he knew who I was and who I was dealing. That's my take on it. But
Yep, you are right.
so and the connection between the base again, because I try to ask myself who was bringing me into this, and who was like my recruiter or handler, because most of my childhood is blanked out. I mean, I don't remember my childhood.
Once
Very
again,
much
because
at
they
all.
don't want to.
Yeah, no.
They don't want to. Believe me, it's like, nah, it's not okay. That will be not good for you.
It's like I have been living separate lives, different lives, several times. So I know the age regression things and etc. But today it's like I'm another person that I was before, and I feel very strongly that I'm very involved in what's going up, what's upcoming events are about. I'm prepared to be triggered or activated or whatever. I cannot remember a sign for this, but I don't have any choice. As I told you guys last time,
Yeah,
I can try to put the book back in the shelves, but I don't have any choice. Either you are in. There's no exit. There's no out. So.
Nope, there is not. You are right.
Well, the man that I met from the French Foreign Legion, he was Jewish French. He was Jewish by heritage, but grew up in France. Could speak multiple languages, and I don't know. It was really weird. He sort of just approached me.
This guy as well. He could speak different languages.
Yeah.
He actually
And-
came back from a mission from East Asia somewhere. I cannot tell you that, but and since then he was living a secret life somewhere in
Yeah,
Finland,
they live very,
not very
very
far
secretly.
from the base. So
Yeah.
They live like one of those soldiers, like you
Oh.
see, that a very simple like apartments and just like a very nondescript sort of.
Yeah, as I like to say, stay low profile ish.
Very
yeah,
low
yeah.
profile.
Yeah. That's
they
true. That's true.
knew his history. But they still protected him. And
Yeah,
that-
because there's information that they have that is, I don't know. I mean, even when a person is a soldier to that level and has the abilities, I mean, like with this guy, I don't know what he was. I could actually, you know, I would see him talking and I'd say, well, who are you talking to? And I could literally hear a voice coming out of his ears. But he didn't have any headset or anything on. We're talking about 1996.
Yeah, it was like.
And I said to him, he says, we're talking about you. And I said, really? I said, well, who is that? And he says, he said, you're not ready yet. And I said, not ready
yeah, but you wasn't. Believe me, you wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready. Who was that? He said it was a young guy in his 30s, but probably not really young, probably age regressed.
Yeah, like.
But
that.
who was that, Peter? Do you know who that was?
Yeah, I cannot talk about that.
Can you talk about it privately with me?
Not yet. As they said, you are not ready.
I think
No,
well,
why
then I
you are
wasn't
looking
ready.
like? Why you are looking like?
I think I'm ready now. I don't think I was. I'm positive I wasn't ready then. I'm positive. I didn't know what was going on. I'd never seen anything like that. And I did. I've always seen
do
weird
you know
stuff
what?
since I
I
was
love
young.
this smile, like once you are wondering about certain stuff. I love that.
They have abilities. Yeah, some people have these really crazy abilities, and Peter knows he kind of know a bunch of them that show up in your house. But
hey, are you serious? You really want to talk about that, man? What?
yeah, I mean, I've never seen, you know, a voice coming out of somebody's ear. I mean, there might have been some advanced tech that I don't know about in the 90s, but it could have been, but it didn't feel like it was coming from technology. It felt like it was, you know, he was doing this. It was weird. It was very weird. The French Foreign Legion, you don't have to be from France to join. Is that correct?
yeah,
what?
they take them in from all over the world. And these
You don't
days
have to
they
be
French. You
don't
don't
have to
No,
be a French
definitely
basically
citizen.
recruited from East Europe today.
Oh no. Technically, you
I'm not right.
technically you can be from any part of the world.
Yeah, of course, anywhere.
Not only from not only from Eastern Europe, from any parts of the world.
Of course. But I've been told that these days many of the recruits are from East Europe, Latvia, Poland, Litauen, Russia, Serbians.
I think that, well, how in the world? I mean, that's the only military that I know that does that, aside from maybe some of these other kind of secret groups that work for corporations or so forth.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, do you have what you have to have some kind of allegiance towards France then, or they would? I don't know. I mean, do you represent your country anymore? Or do you kind of
No. You are not, definitely not.
You will
So
become 100% French citizen. Yeah,
You will have.
You know, yes or not, in
You
certain
wear a
occasions.
French
In
passport. Yeah.
certain occasions, yes. In other occasions, not. It's not so easy.
Yeah.
It's not that easy, believe me.
It's not easy. Well, Peter,
Right.
you told me in the beginning that you have something important to share with me. I am done with my stories, so
No. Technically, that was pretty much it. What I want to say,
Okay.
because we went through. Do you know what I mean? Through all the stuff. That's it. That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much.
It's
I'm happy.
It's 2 o'clock in 22 minutes right now. There's all these twos lined up.
Yeah. It's not coincidence. Another not coincidence stuff. Believe me, man.
Yeah, so the activities of the Nordics seem to be very heightened today, and
Yep.
I don't know what they're still trying to be in the game, or they don't like what we're doing. I don't know.
Technically, both stuff.
Right. And they're definitely around. So they were trying to get in, they were trying to access Norway. And so when you did the regression, you sort of prevented that from happening. You protected Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the base is not about Norway, that's for sure. It's just happened to be there, you know.
Yeah. I wish we could find a super soldier that's protecting Canada, because Canada's got a lot of stuff coming through.
Yeah.
And there's people that live there, and
I know.
it's flooded. There's nothing holding it back, and then of course we have people in the U.S. that are trying to hold it back, but
Yeah, it's a problem.
I'm in contact with two others from Canada. They're both in Kruger, but they don't want to step out. So
well, then we need their help. I would think.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah. Is there anyone that I know, or we can talk about that?
Nope.
I don't want to give you any clues here, except
No,
from they are from Canada. Yeah.
If they're not ready, they're not ready. For maybe their time hasn't come yet where they're
Yeah.
supposed to step up.
I'm not ready to step out in public, so
So-
I'm fine. I'm fine with this.
Some people will never be ready because you want to have their privacy, and
You know what? Actually, yeah, you are right. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Peter, you don't show yourself
No. For reason.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question before we put up, but it's Peter, if he can remember that. We're talking about grouping together with different soldiers especially from Kruger. I remember strongly we had a meeting and I was talking with Peter there. I actually saw his face. I know how you look like.
Yeah.
And your voice and everything was pretty much the same as now. But we were there in the Alps. I think it was in Swiss or Austria. Yeah, Austria, I think.
In Austria, yeah, in Austria.
I remember the interior from the hotel. A lot of timber. We were there gathering together. I still don't know if this was something going to happen in nearby future, or I remember also I can mention I mentioned it to James as well because he was there and he said it's okay, you can bring me in, and some other guys that were there. I cannot mention their names, but I was talking to you, and what the take is that meeting was very very important. I don't know anything about the content. I saw the clear pictures. I recognized some persons, some other agents and soldiers, and the hotel, everything. It was a beautiful place, and some of us were also skiing just after, like having some fun outside. And, but I'm sure it was in Austria.
Yep, you are right. Yeah, you are right. You are right.
Can you talk about that, or?
No, it's secret. I mean, it's good. It's good. You mention it, but we can. How can I say it? It is good, but the stuff is. We cannot talk about that. I mean, the details. It's. You know what I mean. It's not okay to talk about that. I mean, the details, the more the details, you know, it's like.
But is it like that we are going to have that meeting, or?
No. We already did. We already did. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just have to be sure. Yeah. Because sometimes you don't know where you are on the timeline. Are you talking about the past, or?
Yeah, you are
ongoing,
right.
or? Because there is, as we know, there is the time is now. There's no past, there is no future. So it's kind of difficult to figure out somehow.
Yep, that's true.
Complicated.
Yeah, it can be. It can be really complicated.
Especially when you have visions and recalls.
Trying to fit it into the timeline. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
Well, that's good. But we can pause that story and bring it up later on if it's necessary.
Yeah, you are right.
Right time. Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. I think that opens up for another conversation.
And we can stop this for now. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So, well, with that said, then we'll say thank you to our audience, and thanks so much, Olaf, for sharing. We appreciate you being a guest, and kind of gives me something to think about. That some of the stuff that I've experienced, those little weird things that. And now I understand what they are, because I never thought to ask Peter, because I just thought it was maybe some just strange little thing happening. But thanks for sharing.
Strange little thing. Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
There's so many like really strange big things that have happened that it's easy to overlook some of these other things, because you just say, well, it's a health issue or whatever.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah. So you don't really know, but it's kind of weird that we were a little bit on the same path.
Well, we had a good conversation. Thank you for bringing me in again.
Yeah. Who would know? You're a whole different part of the world.
Yeah.
And this was happening, similar things happening, and this is what's unique about the programs is when they're activated and different ones, good and bad, are doing things. You'll see that there's a commonality between many different people in different parts of the world. So it's a very powerful point to validate some of the things that we've been talking about. Anyhow, thank you again, and thank you, Peter, for joining us today. And
thank you for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel and appear here as a co-host. And I'm looking for next time.
Okay, and remember, everyone, don't forget to subscribe. We have more coming up. Miss anything, and of course, recognize that we always play everything, every single day, 24/7 on the radio, Talks Radio. And thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you for listening to Disclosures. Have a good day.
You have been listening to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Join us on YouTube channel Jessica Ariel Morocco and visit www.peter-insider.com and www.readingsbyariel.com. Remember to post your questions in the comment section below the video. We look forward to hearing from you.